Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Victoria and today's video, I think it's so fun. I'm so excited because I know I just uploaded the video where I rank all of the books that I read in 2024. But for this one, I'm more excited. It's not that I'm more excited, but this one I'll go and talk a little bit more about my favorite books, more in depth, and just about them. And I just love talking about all of these books, and I am so excited. So let's start this video idea. And the questions, I got them from Larry Reed, Sarah Caroli, Rachel Catherine, and she got more questions from Katie. And I went into Katie's channel and saw her video. I loved it. I'm going to start watching her videos because I really like her vibe and we have so many books in common. The first question that I have is how many books have I read in 2024? And that's 75 books. And this reading year has been so good. I enjoyed reading so many books, discovering new authors and more series that I love and we'll be talking more about. And I'm looking forward to all the books that I will be reading next and genres or authors I will be reading next. So moving forward, what's the best book that I read in 2024? I didn't want to repeat many books, but it's just impossible. It's literally impossible. And I also didn't want to choose from a series, but I will. Magnolia Park's Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. This whole entire book is perfection. Please look at the cover because it's so stunning. And this book is the last book for Magnolia and BJ that Jessa will ever write about. And this book was perfection. The whole 700 pages that I read is just perfect. And I wish we could get more. I was never tired reading this book. This book had me sobbing. Their story, like their whole character development and how they come so far, I love it. And I know people hate on BJ, but then they read this book and it's like, I love them and I love him and I will never get tired of them. So the next book that I have is Queen of Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is, I think, the sixth book. Yes, this is the sixth book in the series, and this one was my favorite one. Well, other one too, but this one was my favorite. I love everything that happened in this book. There are so many scenes that are so good, and I don't want to say much about it because it's in the middle of the series and I will be talking about the series later on, but this book is just so good. I read it in a day. I think that tells you something. Like, look at this book. Go and read Throne of Glass. And then Kingdom of Ash. This book is like 900 pages long, almost 1,000. But when I tell you this was perfection, the pace of this book, it's perfect. I love this book. I love these characters and I love the ending of this book still. Even though I love the ending, I want more from these characters and I was just so sad to be finishing this book. I want them. I need them in my life and I love them so much. Now we're getting into my favorite romance of 2024 so far, which is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This book, again, is perfection. This couple, I love the couple. This has emotional depth. This has character, like their backstory, banter. This has chemistry. This has giggling moments, sobbing moments. This has everything that you want and more. Abby Jimenez just knows what she's doing, and Justin knows what he's doing too. Justin is just the epitome of if he wanted to, he would, and acts of service. He would just do the most perfect things for Emma, and yet he will do more. Like, that's everything I have to say, but I loved it. The writing in this book is everything. Read it. This next question, I added it because I don't think anyone put it in their video and I needed to talk about it. What's the best series that you read so far in 2024? And I think this one's the best series that I'll ever read in my whole life. I don't have the book with me. It's here. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This series just changed my life. There's nothing better than this. The whole plot twist that happens in the whole series is insane. You get so attached to the characters. The development of every character is the best that you're gonna get. When you begin the series, you don't know where it's gonna go because it gets so much better. The first books are a little bit, they're good, but they're not that good. Please read this series. Also, there are things that happen in the prequel and then they're directly linked at the end and like the later books, which is insane. The Woman That You Are, Sarah J. Maas. I just can't. It's just perfect. You should read Assassin's Blade first. That's my opinion, and I will die on that hill. Anyways, next question. Best sequel of 2024. I haven't read many sequels, and there are some that I definitely have to read, but I wanted to like choose one that's not from a series, that's just from a duology, and that left me with such a good book to choose from, which I love and I recently read, and I didn't think I would like this book so much. Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm so sorry. This book was so good. When I thought the first book couldn't get better, it got better. I gave this a 4.5 and I enjoyed this book so much. Like the whole premise, the whole world, the magic system is so unique, and I never thought I would like it or understand it. I did, and I'm so glad I read this book because I loved it. Also, I annotated this, like look at all the tabs. The author did something in this book. She added a point of view and she added a subplot of romance with other couple. That just made this book so good. It is good. I enjoyed this book so much. Next is new release you want to read. I want to read Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I recently read one book by her, which is Same Time Next Summer, which I will be talking about later. And I loved that book. I enjoyed it so much, and I want to start reading more from this author. And this one's just perfect for the summer. It literally says it on the title, Summer Romance. It just came out. I'm so excited for this one. Next is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I read 7 Years Live by her, and I love the book. I love it so much, and I instantly bought this book when it came out, which was literally yesterday. And also a newer release that I haven't read and I want to read. It's The Rom-Comers by Catherine Center. I don't know what's this book about. I haven't heard much about it, but I'm so excited to read it because I have read one book from Catherine Center and I enjoyed that one. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Reckless. I read Powerless back in November and I loved it. I am so excited to see what's going to happen and how we're going to like work that out. I love Lauren Roberts. Her writing, I think it's so good, and I literally need to read that book right this moment. Also, I want to read Daydream by Hannah Grace. As soon as Henry was introducing Icebreaker, I knew I needed his book. I'm so excited for this book. I can't wait to read about him because he's just so... Yes, I love him. I want to read Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I love reading Wild Love, and I'm so excited for what's coming to this next series. I love that it's just single fathers. I just know I'm gonna love it because I love Elsie Silver. I love her writing, the town, everything. I love Chestnut Springs. I need to reread that whole series. I also am waiting to read Play Along by Elsie Silver, I'll put it on the screen. Anyways, the first one was not my favorite book, but then The Right Move and Caught Up, I think it's the name. I love those. I love the male main character in both. Yeah, I'm so excited to read that one because I know it's gonna be really good. Biggest surprise of the year. For this one, I was a little bit like, do I want to go to this route, which is I expected to like it and then I didn't, or should I go to the one that's like I didn't expect to like it and I liked it? And I was gonna say, let's do this one. The Hotel Nantucket. Where is it? So the first one, I have The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand. It's not that I expected this book to not love it, but I love this book so much. I think I was just like, I think it's gonna be a good book, like a 3-star book, but it's not gonna be that good. It is that good. I enjoy this book so much, like the whole mysterious theme, the whole subplot of romance, mystery, friendship, everything about it is so good. This book not only made me feel it's raining so much. This book not only made me feel like in the hotel with them, but it made me feel like I knew the characters and I knew their whole life and what was happening with them. I knew everything about them and I was living their lives with them, which made me love it because I love the writing. It was just a surprise. The 7 Years Live by Ashley Poston. This book, I was not expecting to like it because I knew like the whole plot was like a little bit of magical sense, and I didn't think I liked that because I don't know what I thought, but I never wanted to read this book. I was like so close after reading it. I didn't even have it on my TBR. And then my book bestie Andrea, shout out to Andrea, follow her on Instagram, I'll put the link in my bio. She was like, I love this book, you need to read it. I read it, and thank you so much because I love this book so much. The writing was perfection. The feeling of this book, I don't know why I was even so sad and even happy throughout this whole book. Yeah, I was more sad than happy, but like by the ending I was happy, and I love it. It was so wholesome. I love the relationship, their chemistry, their banter, everything about them is so good. So yeah, it took me by surprise. The next question is favorite new author. I'm gonna say it, Ellen Hildebrand. I'm so excited to read more of her books to give me the feeling of summer, because I need the feeling of summer. I am going to be buying more books from her, and I'm gonna update you guys if I like them. And yeah, just with this book I already love her, and I know I'm going to enjoy her other books so much. Also, another new author is Annabelle Monaghan. I recently read this book and I was instantly in love with this author, her writing, and like the wholesome of her books. I was happy reading this book, and I will definitely be reading more from her, even though I have read like only one book. I know I love her. Newest fictional crush. I'm gonna say it because I need to say it. Dorian. I love him. He is one of my favorite Sargent Maas book boyfriends, and I don't think anyone could ever top that. He is perfect. I love him so much. I love Rowan too, don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite too. I think about him 24/7, and he couldn't get more perfect. I need a book solely about him and Manon, because I love Manon too. Also, I had to say, and Justin is also perfection. It doesn't get better than this. Like, I need that man right now. Like I said, if he wanted to, he would, and Justin wants to. The things that he would do for Emma, no one has ever done things like that. He is the most precious, wholesome, patient person could ever exist. He doesn't exist, but I love him. Book that made you cry. Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. This book had me sobbing. This whole book, if you're an older sister, will make you cry like a baby, and it did. Even though if you're just like a person, you're gonna cry, because this book dealt with some harsh topics, and the one that made me cry the most was grief. And it was not like a hard read, but like it was hard to read Magnolia's feelings, and I said too much. I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you know, you know. Also, at the ending I was crying of happiness because I love this character so much. Binding 13. I tapped this book so much, but I don't have the new covers. I have to get them because I already know I'm gonna love the whole series. I gave this one a 4.75, and this made me sob like a baby. Again, the ending, I couldn't with the ending. I knew the ending was bad, but I didn't know it was gonna be that bad. I was not ready for it, what happened, and I'm gonna cry thinking about it. I need to read Keeping 13. Also, you know which one I'm gonna talk about. A Little Life. Silent review, because I don't know what to say. Just with that cover, you know I cry with that cover. This book, I cried throughout the whole book. Check trigger warnings, please. But this book was so sad and so harsh. It's not even the word that I'm looking for, but it was difficult to grasp on. And I'm so glad this is fiction, but at the same time I know that the things that happen in this book are so real and do happen in real life that make me so sad. I think that was my whole thought throughout the whole book, that this is fictional, but this happens in real life. And yeah, I don't want to think about it because I'm gonna cry. Now, on another note, book that made you happy. I'm gonna talk about one of my recent reads, Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. Oh my god, this book was such a happy book. I even cried of how happy I was for these characters and how their journey not ended, but like how the book ended. I was so happy for them, and I needed more from them. I was happy reading the past timelines. Most beautiful book from this year. So remember when I started talking about Magnolia Parks Into the Dark? I have this cover. Look at this cover. I love this cover so much, and when she announced it, I was so sad because this one sells only in the UK, and I got my hands on it and I think this cover is just perfect. Book you need to read before the end of the year. I need to read Ruthless Vows, which is the second book for Divine Rivals duology. I love Divine Rivals, and I don't know why I haven't picked this one up. Actually, I don't know why. I heard so many bad reviews that I'm so sad, because Divine Rivals ends in a cliffhanger and I was like so excited to read this one. I needed to like read it immediately. Spoiler, didn't happen. So I need to read it. Actually, my friend Andrea, again, just read it and she liked it a lot, so I think that's my motivation to read this one. So I'll be reading it before the end of the year. Also, Never by Jessa Hastings. I love Jessa Hastings. And getting a fantasy series from her was the best thing that could ever happen to me, and I was like, I need to read it now. But the same thing that happened with Ruthless Vows, I heard reviews, bad reviews. So that kind of put me off from reading this book, and I haven't, but I need to read it. What books do you want to reread this year? The Chestnut Spring series. I love the series. I love the feeling that it gave me. I love the found family, and I love the whole setting of that series. I love the characters. I love everyone. I need to get that feeling again. That's it. I need to reread Betrayed again. This will be my third year reading Betrayed during the summer, and I love that. This is my favorite book by Emily Henry, and this is just one of my favorite books of all time. I kind of started, but I haven't quite gotten into it, but I will be reading it. I don't know why, but there's something about rereading Emily Henry's books that just does it for me. Happy Place. I love Happy Place. I get it 5 stars. It's my second favorite book by her, and I read it back in December, not even when it came out. Why? And I really need to get this feeling again. I need to reread it. That's all I have to say. Another Emily Henry book. I need to read Book Lovers. I read it last year during the summer. I love it. I love Nora and Charlie. I know loving Nora, it's a controversial thing, but I love her. I'm planning to reread this. I need to fully annotate it. If you get one thing from this book, is you need to read Emily Henry. I don't know why I haven't reread this series, because it's my favorite one ever, and I need to. Magnolia Park. The feelings that this book invoke from me, it's surreal. I love these characters. I love how this whole series just make me feel. And I know it's toxic, everything, but who doesn't love toxic? Favorite author so far this year, Sarah J. Maas. The things that she writes, how she knows how to put everything together is just something else. Like, Sarah J. Maas needs to be studied. Her mind needs to be studied for science. Jessa Hastings. She writes perfection. Her words are so poetic. Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez just writes the books that give you everything. There's romance, there's chemistry, there's banter, there's death. There's everything in her books. So yeah. Also, Emily Henry. Emily Henry is just my favorite author of all time. Like, all of them are too. Everything about her, I could never get tired of her writing and her books. Books you've been putting off. Never by Jessa Hastings, and Ruthless Bells by Rebecca Ross, and Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I think I've been putting off every single book by Leigh Bardugo. I don't know why, but this one mostly. I started reading it back in, I don't even know, I think last year, and I couldn't understand the world, the plot. I couldn't understand anything. I was just lost. So I gave it a soft DNF. I am planning to keep reading it, but I don't know when. A book you enjoyed with mixed reviews. This one that I just recently read by Ali Hazelwood, Not in Love. I heard this one was not her best book, and it was more of like erotica. And yes, it's more like spicy from her other books, but at the same time, this has blood, this has emotional depth, which I love, and I love the characters. I love when boys obsess. I just love that. And I really like Rue and how her reasons were valid for not like wanting to be in a relationship. And I know people don't really like it, but I enjoyed this one so much. I gave it a 4 stars and I enjoyed it. Not my favorite from her, but this was good. And then again, Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City. I enjoyed this book. It's not my favorite by her. It's definitely not, but I still enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed the characters. But I know some people hate this series, and I kind of get it. And especially with the third book that just disappointed people, I do get why there's mixed reviews about this entire series you want to finish before the end of the year. Addicted slash Calloway Sisters. I started it on December of 2023 and I want to finish that series before the end of the year. I've been enjoying this series so much. I love the whole drama that exists on this world and the characters are so flawed, which I love. I think I have like 4 books left, which I think I can finish before the end of the year. Moving forward, 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. Reckless. I think that book is gonna be a 5 stars. Like, there's no questions about it. I hope it is a 5 stars. And another question that I have is how many 5-star reads? I have only like 6 because 3 of them were from Turn of Class and then 1 was a reread. So let me tell you which ones. My first 5-star of the year was Queen of Shadows, which I already talked about. There's nothing else to tell. And then following that, Empire Storm by Sarah Maas. The ending of this book, that's all I have to say. And obviously, Kingdom of Ash was another 5-star. I couldn't even give it any less. And then obviously, because I can shut up about this book and I'm going to literally answer any question of this video with this book, Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. And again, just for the summer, like I needed it imprinted into my brain. And my other 5-star read, which was a reread, Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This book, I love this book so much. Reading this book, comfort. It's just my comfort read. I love it. I love the characters and they're perfect. And for the last 2 questions that I have left is, do you think you'll reach your reading goal? Are you going to change it? I do believe that I will reach my goal by the end of the year. My goal is 100 books, which at the beginning of the year I thought it was insane, but according to Goodreads I'm 27 books ahead of schedule, so I think I'll be good. And last but not least, any new goals? I don't really have any new goals. I just want to keep finishing series, reading books from my physical TBR, stop buying so many books, and reading new authors. I do want to read new authors and reading new genres. I want to open my horizons and get out of my comfort zone, so maybe I'll try. I'm saying trying, that's a key word here. But yes, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for staying with me for this whole book tag. I enjoyed doing this video so much. It was so fun and I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what are your favorites from this year in the comments below, and bye.